Let me show you how scared Wall Street is. They're calling this a populist move, and they're making it look like it's a problem, it's a problem, it's a problem. Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Political veterans in Washington have a warning for Wall Street in wake of this Reddit-driven short squeeze. Eamon Javers joins us now to explain. Eamon?
Yeah, John, that's right. There's a whole group of political consultants here in Washington who are watching this GameStop situation with fascination and also with some familiarity. They argue that what we're seeing here is a financial version of the type of populism that we've seen in American politics over the past decade or so with the Trump MAGA movement and also going back to Occupy Wall Street. So a couple of similarities that they're spotlighting for me in my conversations with them, and then also some of the lessons learned from Washington here as you think about how this movement might take shape going forward. So first of all, the similarities here in terms of the populist piece of what we're seeing in the financial markets. One is the rage and economic anxiety that we're seeing being expressed in these actions, the belief that elites are rigging the system here against the little guy, and the fact that technology equalizes the playing field both in the communications technologies and also in the trading technologies, the ability to participate. The memification of the message is similar here. The virality of some of these communications enabling an exponentially larger group of people to be exposed to these messages. The element of nostalgia for a better time. You know, Make America Great Again was literally about making America great again, hearkening back to a time in the past. People are explaining to me that the lure of GameStop is that this is a company that a lot of these investors remember from their childhood, a better time before COVID and before the economic troubles of today. Distrust of the media, and a willing embrace of risk. They know the risks here, the populists do, and they're willing to do it anyway. So what are the lessons learned here and sort of the Washington message? Well, one is that this mixture of fun and a moral or political cause is an extremely potent force. The pool of potential people here who would participate in this is nearly unlimited. Their advice is to understand your critics if you're a member of the Wall Street establishment, and don't think this is someone else's fight. Pay attention here to what these critics are saying and try to understand the social dynamics of the movement that we're in right now, Carl. So fascinating look at the populism of the markets from a political lens.
Man, these guys are scared, you know what? Because like I told you, this is more serious than you would ever imagine. You see, whenever we think about Wall Street, we think about these bastions of finance that went to these expensive business schools, the Macomb School of Business, Princeton, Harvard, and as if there's something great there, right? But the basic thing is what they're doing is not that complicated. In fact, I think it was Rudnin who sent me a little piece that when this I think it was an article he sent, when this particular guy went to work for one of these big firms, they said, you only need the degree to get in here, but we can teach you everything you need to learn to do what we do in a week. And to which I said, actually, not a week, in a day. It's not hard to understand shorts. It's not hard to understand puts and gets like I explained a few in the last show. All these things are very simple things. Now, there are statistical models that people put on based on the behavior of people and so forth to try to judge how certain things would happen. Now, that requires statistical training, etc. But most of what goes on Wall Street doesn't do anything like that. These are just people thinking of coming up with instruments. How can I make a buck by using somebody else's money? I don't do anything. I didn't do anything to earn it. But how can I make $1 from using somebody else's money and then giving them some of it? That's what Wall Street is. Nothing more. Nothing more. I take your money, and guess what? A lot of times I am taking the money of rich people who took your money to get rich and richer and to enrich the Wall Streeters. And why this scares them so much is because what the little guy did. And I want you to understand this, brothers and sisters. What the little guy did is they realized how these things are simple techniques, and if everybody take advantage of it, it falls on its face. Let me give an example. We have enough people in this country to put in $10, $15, $20, $30, $40, $50, $100, right? We have enough money in the system where we can take down all the big guys. You know, because all those guys that are shorting all these many companies, these big firms, you know what they did today? They ran and got out of positions because they didn't know who was going to get hit next. Where we say, hey, ACD, go buy that stock. now. Let's raise the price of that stock and we destroy a whole lot of people that have been making money on doing nothing for years, at the same time that they didn't want to pay taxes, at the same time that they didn't want to pay the whatever was required to make sure people had health care, they're getting free money already, but they don't want to put anything back into a system that has given them a free ride. It is so deep and simple, and you know what is the best part about it? Americans are starting to understand that the markets are a fraud. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.